If you haven't heard my rant from last Friday, please take a look at it because it's all about truth in broadcasting and getting the information to Canadians. And in a moment, Jay Goldberg is going to be talking about the CBC. But before that, please subscribe and become a member because we need to have the money to keep this station going because more and more, and you'll learn right now, you're not getting the information you need to make your own decisions in Canada. So Jay, you've been here many times before. Welcome back and thank you. You had a column in the Toronto Sun saying the CBC as we know it should not survive. What was that little qualification, as we know it?
As we know it is to say that if they want to be privatized and someone wants to try to run it successfully without taxpayer dollars, go ahead, have fun with it. But
should we have a public broadcaster, though, that is run by taxpayers' dollars?
We do not need a public broadcaster that's broadcasting a lot of misinformation with taxpayer dollars. And look, we're spending $1.4 billion a year on the CBC. The Carney government wants to give even more money. We've got a $92 billion deficit, and they're not spreading the truth. And if you actually look at some of their positions, the Canadian Taxpayers Federation actually just got an FOI request back not that long ago to try to figure out who are all these people that work for the CBC. There are 200 positions that exist, but the position names were redacted. So we don't even know what they do, what their job titles are. They don't even want to tell us what they do.
There are a lot of, a great number of directors and high officials paid a lot of money in the CBC. But we don't know them all, do we?
No, we don't. And for every one that's in a non-taxpayer funded outlet, there's 50 at the CBC. But also look at the viewership, right? So what are we getting? Are we getting anything for our money? Well, if you look at their nightly news, less than 2%, or just over 2% of people who are watching TV at that time, their flagship newscast, about 2% are actually watching CBC News at that time.
98% are watching something else.
98% are watching something else. And those are people that are watching TV. I'm not saying 9% of Canadians. Those are people who are actually watching TV. And their number one viewership, their primetime slots, less than 5% are watching. And those are the shows, the famous Murdoch Mysteries or whatever else. Less than 5% of people who are watching TV are watching the CBC.
No, wait a second though, Jay. All of these people in the CBC, paid all this money, they can't be brain dead. I mean, they got to try and figure out something that the Canadians want.
Well, they haven't been able to figure it out. They're trying to do it with over $1 billion of taxpayer money each and every year, and they're not getting it right. But the bottom line is we should not have journalists paid for by the government. You know that all too well. We shouldn't. Yeah. And so having all kinds of middle managers, and of course there's so many people we could cut out, but the bottom line is we shouldn't have the CBC at all.
What about Radio Canada, the French CBC? They like it.
They like it.
They watch it.
You know what? Privatize it. If it can stand on its own 2 feet, that's fantastic.
So you think that even though the French CBC TV is watched by a huge number in Quebec, it still shouldn't be government?
Well, then it should be sustainable. If there's a big enough audience and they get their own ad revenue, then it should be sustainable. Let it be privatized.
I hear your point. And do you think this, well, you just said Carney wants to give it more.
150 million more. That was his campaign promise.
I'd allow him to break that promise. Yeah. Jay Goldberg, thank you very much. 3 minutes. To those of you who have subscribed and donated, a heartfelt thank you. You're keeping us on the air. If you're watching and you haven't, please try to do so because 4 years ago we started this show because there needed to be independent analysis. Now more than ever, with the Online Harms Act, once that gets into law, it's been passed once by the House, there are going to be hundreds of bureaucrats censoring the news in Canada, censoring this show. We need to keep it on the air. Thanks for your support.